Today, we are going to be talking about 5 different ways you can use to level up as a developer in your career. Now, I have worked as an engineering manager in the past. And when I initially transitioned from being an individual contributor to a engineering manager, I was shocked to know how many developers don't exactly know how to level up in their careers, how to grow in their careers, how to stand out, and how to ask for more. You need to ask for more because you totally deserve it. It honestly breaks my heart, and this is why I wanted to create this video to show you exactly what you need to do to level up in your career this year. So let's get started. So the first thing you need to do is build a brand. So what exactly do I mean by building a brand? Well, a lot of people tie their identities to, for example, the company that they work at. For example, I am a X company developer, I'm a IBM developer, I am a Netflix developer, or whatever that might be, right? Now, nothing against these companies, but we do tie our identities to those companies, right? So it is extremely important that you start building a brand on your own. Because imagine if unfortunately you do get let go because of a mass layoff or the market being down or any other reason, it is going to completely change your life and you can no longer associate yourself with that specific company, right? But if you were to build your brand, it doesn't matter which company you work at. You already have the expertise and the list of skills that you need, and you're taking your brand everywhere. So more so, instead of you getting represented by the company is being represented by you. And that's extremely important and a total game changer. So it's important that you start building your brand right now. So what are some ways you can use to build a brand? Well, start maybe by picking a skill or a technology that is unique to you. For example, if you really want to be good at CSS, or let's say GraphQL, or maybe React Native, then maybe pick a technology that is relevant to your job so that it's most beneficial to the company that you work at. So you're also able to build your skills in your day job as well. So for example, if you were to pick React Native, then what you need to do is then learn everything about React Native as you can. Start giving presentations about React Native. Start talking about React Native everywhere. Start being the go-to person on React Native. Now, you don't need to be an expert for this. You can start building your knowledge and skill set, and you're basically building your brand because of that. So for example, I was a go-to person, or I had built a brand around React Native for a specific company. So whenever there were any new engagements, for example, any new companies that wanted to work with us, I was included among others to give my opinion and thoughts for how we can architect the app, or if they have any specific questions related to React Native, then I was being approached for that. And again, that was very, very, very useful for me because automatically I started being the subject matter expert for that specific technology. And because I was being asked so many questions about that technology, I was also learning on the side and making sure those questions get answered. Now again, you don't need to know all the answers yourself. You can always get back to them by researching more, by learning more, and so on, or also approaching other folks in the community that are really good at React Native. So again, if you start building a brand right now, this will really help you because again, you're picking a skill or a technology that you want to be really good at and you're talking about it. Now suddenly you start getting known for it. You build presentations on it, answer any questions that they may have, and start sharing your thoughts and opinions. Now again, as you grow in your career and as you start to level up as well, this is going to be really important because your manager can say, yeah, this person is very good at this specific technology and this is how they represented the company, and your impact becomes a lot more clear and obvious to everyone, right? So again, build a brand today. The next thing you need to do is improve your writing and communication. So what I mean by that? Well, think about it. Before the pandemic, we pretty much met all in person, and conversations were a lot easier because of body language, you know your team well, and so on, right? But the minute we switched to remote work, we would only talk to the team members via messaging most of the time, right? Because we wanted to eliminate a lot of Zoom meetings or meetings in general from our calendars, because writing is what you need in that case, because you are communicating with your team asynchronously all the time. You are chatting with them, you are not necessarily in a video call with them or a phone call with them. I mean, you can definitely get into it, but majority of the communication is via writing. So start building a writing habit. The other reason why it's important to build a really good writing habit or improve your writing is because not just for communication, but also for documentation. Now, the senior you get, you need to be very good at documenting everything that you're learning, everything that your team should learn about and know about. So, for example, if there's a library that you all chose, document about why, what were some of the reasons, because maybe a year from now, you don't want to use a library anymore, and maybe the person who worked on that specific library is gone, doesn't work at the company anymore. Then having the documentation would really help. Also, writing about the technical stack and certain decisions that were being made is also important in your role, right? So writing is a very important skill that you need to build a habit for. Now, what can you do to build a writing habit? Well, what you can do is start writing atomic essays. So for example, you can maybe I'm going to write 100 words every single day, or be more intentional about any of the communication you are doing with your team. When you start writing atomic essays, those 100 words every day are going to add up, and you are going to be more intentional, and your writing is going to get better over time. Be as clear as possible when you're communicating. So for example, if any of your team members do ask a specific question, how does this specific technology work, or why was this decision being made, or during code reviews, why did you make that change? Try to be as specific as possible and as detailed as possible. So talk about why you chose that specific route, what were the different options that you went for, and not just the direct answer or maybe a short answer in that case. You want to be as detailed and as descriptive as possible, and your intention should be that you should write in such a way that they should not have any follow-up questions after that. They should be, yeah, I get it now. Thank you so much for such an awesome answer, right? And that is why you need to improve your writing, because writing is used everywhere, in communication with your team, in documentation, during code reviews, and so on. So writing is an extremely important skill set. The more prepared you are, the better you will come off as well to your team and to your manager, which will help you level up in your career. So get better at writing. The next thing you need to really get good at is writing a brag document. So what's a brag document? A brag document is a document where you basically...
This is Beth. This is my personal valet/flight attendant, and she will be helping me.
Brag about everything that you are working on, everything that you are doing, and you build this habit either daily or maybe weekly. I would recommend daily because I don't remember what I did last week, if you ask me. So I would just go for daily as a habit. Now, why do you need this document? Why do you need to brag about what you do and how you do it in the specific doc? Well, because as I mentioned, as humans, we don't remember a lot of stuff, and our memory is not that great. We might remember the high level stuff, but we won't necessarily remember all the nitty-gritty changes that we are making to improve the lives of our teams and our companies. So writing a brag document will really help you remember all those things. So when the time comes to brag about yourself to your manager, or even letting your team know about everything that you're working on, you can use that brag document as a way to talk about yourself. Not just that, in your one-on-ones with your manager, I'm pretty sure a lot of team members do have regular one-on-ones with their managers. So if you were one of them as well, you can use this brag document to talk about everything that you're working on with your manager. And better yet, share this document with your manager. So anytime you add something into it, talk to your manager about it. So your manager also has a list of achievements that you're working on. So they can pick and choose what they need to talk about to others about you. Let's say promotion were to come up or your salary needs to be increased. Again, a brag document is a really good negotiation document with your manager. You can go back and forth in terms of what they think about our achievements, what you need to focus on, and so on. Maintain a brag doc and talk about and write about everything that you have done so far. Trust me, I really want you to get promoted. I really want you to make a lot of money. And having a brag doc will really allow you to make sure you're keeping track of everything that you're working on. And I know that you totally deserve this. So keep a brag doc. Next thing you need to do is create a development plan or a growth plan, or basically a document that tracks your growth. So when you were hired at a specific company, you probably were hired at a specific level. So for example, at an intermediate level or at a senior level, and every level in a company typically has a list of competencies that they measure against. So for example, you would have a list of things at every level that you need to make sure that you perform at. Let's say you have checked off all the boxes in that specific level, then you can start focusing on the next level. So you're basically getting ready to get promoted. Now, make sure you know exactly what level you're at, and also what competencies that you need to work on more. So first thing you need to do is book a separate meeting with your manager to just talk about this. Talk about the competencies, go through every competency at your level and ask them where they think you are at, what you need to work on next, and what projects can they line up to make sure that you work on those specific things. And if there was any feedback given by anyone else, so you need to know what you need to work on, for example. So after you know and keep a track of all these different competencies, you know where the gap is, right? So you can focus on basically making sure that you are working on all the missing items in that gap, along with all the expectations from you for your specific level. Now, once you have a really good understanding for where you are at, you can start creating a development plan for yourself to basically map out exactly what you're working on and everything that you have done. And a brag document would really help and tie into this as well, because you can say that for this specific competency, these are the different things that you have done. For this other competency, this other list of things that you have done as well. So again, brag doc ties into that. But in your development plan, you should have a list of all your achievements, all the things that you're working on for that specific quarter or for those specific months, so that you can have a transparent conversation with your manager once you are able to meet expectations for all of them, and you can start working on for your next level. So for example, once you meet all the expectations and in your growth plan, you can start picking out maybe 2 or 3 things from the next level, and you can start working on that. So when you are ready to level up or get promoted, or even for a salary increase, you can ask for more from your manager, and they probably would not be able to say no, because they have to go ahead and take your development plan that you have created and also the brand document that you have created, and then submit it to HR or whoever to get it approved for a salary increase or for a promotion. So again, it's extremely important that you have these 2 documents, because again, you will be able to track your growth properly, and you are holding yourself and your manager accountable for it. So make sure you have a development plan and it's transparent and shared with your manager as well. Be more willing to help others. Now, if you are stuck on a problem and if you need help, you definitely go to your team and ask help from them. But it should not be a one-way transaction. Make sure that you also help them when they need help as well, because after all, it is a team, and teamwork and collaboration are extremely important. It is not just a project that you are working on that project with your specific team. So make sure that you ask for help and also help others wherever needed. I often find this as a common mistake that a lot of developers make, which is that they don't necessarily ask for help soon enough, or if they do ask for help, it is always a one-way transaction. They don't go and help others. Now make sure whenever you're helping others, don't go too overboard and not work on the things that you were assigned initially, right? But make sure that you are also helping others, collaborating, brainstorming solutions because again, collaboration and teamwork leads to a better product and will allow you to level up and grow further as well. And make sure you also own the things that you are working on too, and fix the bugs that come up as well alongside it. So for example, if you are working on a project and you picked up specific tasks related to that project and there were bugs that were identified, or anything or any other issues or questions came up after being deployed to production, make sure that you hold yourself accountable for it, and also own that specific project and code that you have worked on, and help your team with solving all the bugs. It doesn't matter what level you are at. Ownership is extremely important for you as a developer. Again, as you level up, own the things that you have worked on. Don't point fingers at people and don't blame others for what you have worked on. Just own the things, have a forward thinking approach, and think about, okay, now that we do have this bug, what can we do in the future to prevent it? So maybe write test cases for that specific bug so that it doesn't happen again, or at least you catch it, right? And you catch the behavior for it. So again, these are just examples to make sure that you own the things and also help others wherever it's needed. If you do like any of these tips, I also write a weekly newsletter called as Frontend Snacks, where I share a code snippet each week and also share latest and greatest front-end development gossip or news, however you like to say it, in that specific newsletter. I also share a front-end development toolbox that is a list of tools and frameworks that I feel you will really like and enjoy as part of that newsletter as well. So please subscribe to that if you're interested. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you do like this specific video, and if you end up using any of the tips and tricks that I have shared for you to level up in your career, please comment below and let me know. I would love to hear it. Or if there is something else that you would love to learn from me, please let me know in the comments below as well. All right, thank you so much, and I hope you have an awesome day. Bye for now.